Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime!
In the lives of great personalities like Mike Tyson, reputation and public opinion play a colossal role. This is the conclusion that suggests itself from the scandalous story that led Iron Mike behind bars in 1992. To this day, Tyson fiercely denies his guilt and swears he will maintain his innocence until his last breath. "I did not rape Desiree Washington. Nothing of the sort happened. She knows it, the Almighty knows it. And it will remain on her conscience for the rest of her life." But what really happened on that fateful night? Only fragmentary facts are known. On the 18th of July, 1991, at the Black Expo Festival in Indianapolis, Mike met the young 18-year-old beauty Desiree Washington, the winner of the Miss Black America pageant. Tyson shamelessly propositioned the girl to have a fun evening. And she, charmed by his charisma, agreed. According to Mike, Desiree behaved promiscuously, showing off racy bikini photos. They did indeed spend that night together in Tyson's room. Even the boxer's bodyguard, who usually never took his eyes off his charge, chose to leave them alone this time. As the ring legend claims, after midnight they made love by mutual consent. But then something went wrong. The enraged Desiree demanded to be taken back to her hotel, and when Mike crudely kicked her out of his room, she uttered a spiteful phrase, "Who does this boxer think he is?" A week later, Tyson was horrified to learn that a rape case had been initiated. And so, his brilliant career came crashing down, and a prolonged nightmare began. Victim of judicial injustice or guilty monster? In the courtroom, everything went against Iron Mike. Desiree Washington's word was pitted against his version of events. She swore there was no flirting, only brutal violence and cries for help that no one heard. The limousine driver witnessed her anger, but not her tears. His fiery temper, clashes with the law from his youth, scandalous reputation, all this weighed heavily on the scales of justice against Tyson. His lawyers fought fiercely but could not turn the unfavorable course of the trial. The bloodthirsty public craved retribution, demanding to appease the hangman Judge Gifford, renowned for her harsh sentences. Desiree rejected any hint of flirtation in court. She swore that Iron Mike used brute force to possess her against her will. That she screamed and fled in tears. However, no one corroborated her screams. There were no bruises on the girl. The driver noticed no trace of tears. And when Desiree was asked if she expected intimacy by voluntarily coming to his room, she answered no. Tyson lost this trial unconditionally. His defenders were routed, failing to present convincing evidence. The public craved justice on the victim's side. And Mike's scandalous reputation, having become a hostage to his fiery temper from an early age, backfired against him as a curse. Ultimately, the legendary boxer stood before the hangman herself, Judge Patricia Gifford, whose merciless sentences struck fear into criminals. On 2 harsh charges of depravity and confinement by force, he faced up to 60 years in captivity. However, even Gifford showed mercy that day, reducing the sentence to 6 years, of which Iron Mike ended up serving half. Only he and Desiree know the true answer about the fateful events of that night with Miss Black America. The price of freedom for Mike was the stigma of a vicious rapist, and his career and life lay shattered. Iron Mike behind bars, dirty secrets, and sweet captivity. Tyson had to serve his sentence at the Plainfield Correctional Facility in Indiana. Although he was given 6 years, Iron Mike only served half the term, being released in March 1995. However, contrary to expectations, his time behind bars was far from torturous. Tyson himself nostalgically recalled that carefree life in his cell, where he had everything, watching fights, meeting visitors, and even a lover from among the prison staff. Mike mockingly spoke about this piquant story in several interviews. "The first 6 months, I had nothing but problems. The guards harassed me, wrote complaints about me. But then I figured out how to behave, and then something out of the ordinary happened. I started seeing one of the psychologist guard women. We had hard sex. In general, I became a star inmate. They trusted me. Iron Mike admitted with a smirk. However, he had to pay for this. The jailers remembered his past transgressions and decided to teach him a lesson by adding a year to his sentence. Tyson nearly snapped, but his psychologist lover helped him pass the test and regain that year of freedom. All the girls I knew took money from me. If they refused, I immediately suspected something. Everything in this world is for sale, but money isn't always the price, Mike savored in summary. He even recalled how one inmate veteran taught him a primitive way to secretly meet on prison grounds. That's exactly why white people rule the countries. They're capable of coming up with shit like that. The boxer concluded. In general, Iron Mike became so immersed in the prison routine that on the day of his release, he simply didn't want to leave. I was comfortable there was a woman, entertainment. All the guards became my friends. I heard the sound of helicopters over the prison and realized that was freedom. But I didn't want it. The epic return of Iron Mike. The prison bars could not contain the true ring predator. After 4 years of forced confinement, Mike Tyson, dubbed Iron Mike, was free and craving revenge. The whole world held its breath in anticipation. Could the boxing legend climb back to the top, or had the years of inactivity turned the formidable killer into an ordinary mortal? Boxing fans were torn by conflicting emotions. Some could not believe that Tyson, once the fiercest and most merciless fighter, had lost his killer style. Others doubted that after the forced hiatus he could regain his magnificent form. Arguments raged on. Heated hallway discussions reached a fever pitch. In this tense atmosphere, the savvy promoter Don King decided not to put Iron Mike's reputation at risk. He handpicked the perfect sparring partner, 26-year-old Peter McNeely, nicknamed Hurricane. The guy ranked a modest 7th in the WBA and had a decent record of 36 wins and 1 loss. However, his opponents were, mildly put, far from star level. The records of McNeely's last 5 opponents were simply mediocre. But did it matter to the fans? Tyson's return to the ring on August 19, 1995, turned into a real circus. Over 1 million people purchased the broadcast, ensuring the promoter's fabulous earnings. The eyes of millions of fans were glued to the screens. Could Iron Mike prove he was still alive and embark on the path of legendary revival? On the eve of the historic return to the ring, the promoter's PR machine worked at full tilt. At the outrageous press conference, the modest Peter McNeely, having prepared in advance, read a poem about how he would kick the ass of the formidable Tyson. He then mockingly addressed the audience, "If you haven't bought the pay-per-view broadcast yet, hurry up." In response, Iron Mike only briefly appeared at the microphone and briefly thanked the Almighty for the opportunity to enter the ring again. His taciturnity only added fuel to the fire's die-hard fans became more and more hyped. The bookmakers gave Tyson an overwhelming advantage, 96 to 97% chance of winning. However, the frenzy that had ignited ensured the bout unprecedented pay-per-view success. 1,600,000 viewers shelled out $180 million to witness the historic event. Iron Mike hadn't generated such staggering interest even at the peak of his glory. On the decisive day, the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas was packed to the rafters. The former pizza maker McNeely had no chance against the legendary ex-champion. And so, it played out. In less than 2 minutes, the encounter turned into a bloody butchering. At first, Hurricane rushed at Tyson, but immediately ate a brutal left hook to the head and crumpled to the canvas. Getting up, he tried to force the fight again, but soon a series of Iron Mike's murderous blows sent him down hard once more. McNeely staggered from side to side, and his insane promoter even jumped the ropes to stop the beating. The fight was stopped, a technical victory for Tyson. The epic return of Iron Mike had happened. Like a phoenix risen from the ashes, he stepped back into the ring, formidable and undefeated, the living legend of boxing. Ahead lay new triumphs and falls, fierce battles and deafening scandals capable of eclipsing even the Iron Beast's former antics. The world held its breath in anticipation. What else would this fiery comet, this volcano of passion inside and outside the ring, have in store?
Thank you for watching, friend. Subscribe to us. Don't forget to hit the bell to not miss the next videos.